see.
Okay.
Certainly a great looking group here of men and women from China.
And there may be more translation than we thought.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so give them time to do that.
Okay, so if you have any questions about anything that I'm saying and all, just let me know. As slow as I talk, well, you know, everybody here should be able to understand me because I don't get in a hurry when I talk. So, but welcome to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. We're honored that Sam Houston State picked our facility as one that y'all could come and tour and see about law enforcement here in the state of Texas. I am an elected official with the county. I have a 4-year term that I serve. I came into office in January 1 of 2005. So this is just my 3rd year in office. I've been in law enforcement in the state of Texas for 37 years. So that's been my life, and I enjoy it and all. Montgomery County is the geographic area, the size of this county is about 1,044 square miles. And we're just north of Houston. Everybody knows we're Houston, Texas, and so certainly they're the largest sheriff's office. We're about the 7th largest sheriff's office in the state of Texas out of 254 counties. There are 254 counties in the state. Here at Montgomery County, we in the sheriff's office are responsible for all the areas in this county that are not municipalities or cities. The cities have their own law enforcement agencies. Then the ones on the outside of that, the unincorporated areas of the county, we are responsible for law enforcement services for the rest of the county, which is the largest part and all. We have the only jail in this county. So all the city police departments, the state police, the constables, and all bring all their prisoners to our jail. We have a 1,150 bed capacity. Today we have over 1,000 people locked up in this jail back here. So, and I think y'all have an opportunity to go through the jail and all. So we're in the process. You know, this is a fast-growing county here in Montgomery County, and we're fixing to build a new jail because we're out of space, and so we need a place to lock them up, and we're going to build that so we can take care of the things. So, with that, are there any questions that you have for me that I can answer?
没什么问题。
Is the President of the United States. So when his term's up, mine's up. I hope that you were able to understand some of the things that I had to say, but I know you can certainly understand that we're glad that you're here. We welcome you here to Montgomery County. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
To a few people. Sheriff Tommy Gage, he is the boss. This is Chief Deputy Randy McDaniel. He is the number 2 man in the sheriff's office. Over here, Captain Areola. He is captain of the patrol section. Captain Peggy Frankhauser. She is captain over staff services. That is Channel 13 News. Here we have Judge room that you're sitting in. Our local newspaper, and she will be doing a news story on your visit. And with the camera is educational, and that you will learn a little bit about Texas law enforcement while you're here.
To 500 911 phone calls that we take every day, and we take in anywhere from 800 to 900 non-emergency phone calls for police service.
I believe you have it set up to where you'll be able to observe one of our vehicles that we use in patrol. And you'll also be able to contact directly and speak with one of our officers who actually goes on the road. I think you'll like him. He's a really good guy, and I'd like for you to ask him any questions that you might have, because he can be very informative for you. Also, you'll be able to tour and look into one of the vehicles, as well as I understand we've got our SIU vehicle coming with our K9.
If they're not busy, they're.
Okay, if they can, but for sure you'll be able to at least get that. Again, I want to echo what the chief and the sheriff have to say. We're so proud to have you here today. We really are, and any kind of question you might have, please ask, okay?
Okay.
As I said, my name's Trey Spikes. I'm the Justice of the Peace here in this courtroom. We have 14 courts total in the county.
它这个限制是这个吧？
This particular court is very unique in the aspect that my job does not entail me putting anyone in jail.
它的工作并不是说把所有人都送到监狱。
Basically, what I do is from a law enforcement standpoint, if someone is ticketed for a violation, not a jailable offense, then that is what this court is primarily here for, to handle those people who are not criminals that need to be incarcerated.
他的工作并不是属于刑事犯罪那个惩罚范围，它主要是一些罚款单，这个就是纯粹是一些财产性的罚款，它不是说一些人身自由限制的一些。
Because of that reason, this is the busiest court in the county.
所以正是因为罚款单通常比较多，所以它这个法庭是最繁忙的一个法庭。
And there are 5 Justice of the Peace courts in Montgomery County, including mine.
一共有5位，包括他在内有5位这个就是治安法官。
As far as being busy, we also handle a wide range of civil issues as well. It is not all criminal that is handled in this courtroom.
他同时还解决一些民事争议、民事纠纷啊，不是纯粹是一些刑事犯罪的一些。
Everything from children failing to attend school, evictions for people who cannot or will not pay their rent,
所以像一些那个可能对很多那个都是情况。
a civil case that can be as basic as 2 neighbors who agreed to do some work for one another and someone did not get paid. And 100 to 10,000 criminal tickets a month through this system.
110,000
From anywhere from 100 to 10,000 tickets monthly for those people who were stopped for speeding, violating our laws, but not jailable offenses.
per year or for
They could be per month, every 30 days.
他一个月罚款单将近1万左右，数量非常大。
In this particular courtroom, in a month's time, we will hold anywhere from 17 to 19 actual court hearings where we will be holding court in this room.
他每个月大概有70几个80宗案件在这里审。
There are somewhere around 1,000 cases a month on criminal alone that are fought through this court.
每个月大概100来起那个涉及到刑事犯罪的案件。
I particularly have a very unique interest in the sheriff's department due to the fact that I work in the same building that they do. Some of the other judges don't have the personal contact that I myself and my court have because of the building that we are located in.
所以他跟其他的法官不同。Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Therapy and housing in the jail. And I'm looking forward to giving you the tour. I welcome you here. We appreciate your interest. I do want to go over a couple of rules. There are no cameras allowed back there.
Take that back there.
That's no video, no audio, no pocket knives, handguns, bazookas, hand grenades. Can't allow any of that in there, okay?
啊，那个我们今天
Y'all
在
wanna
这边
secure all your cameras?
Refreshments are not for you. They are a retirement party. One of our deputies, he is retiring today, so they will have a party for him in a little while. The pictures on the wall, 1961 through 1980. After him came Sheriff Joe Corley, and then after him came Sheriff Guy Williams, and now we have Sheriff Tommy Gage. Pictures behind you are sheriffs dating back many, many years. Do their paperwork and get
不
arrested.
是，就他是签署那个搜查令，然后呢是。
Our Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, all it does. This is our jail transport bus. It takes prisoners
他
from
就
place to
是
place.
送到那个。
Actually, we'll have two ace crime scene
犯罪证据
investigators.
分析的这个分析
She's。 coming around.
Hi, Karen McInerney. This is Leslie McCauley. We're both crime scene investigators here at the county. And I did give y'all a printout and then translated it with the computer. So if it's not correct, I apologize. So hopefully I didn't say anything offensive. Computer did this. So I'm gonna let you pass those out to everyone. There's English on the front and then second two pages is hopefully correct.
OK，
It may say something we don't want it to
We
say.
don't know. I apologize. I didn't mean to.
还有中
One
文
of our fingerprint rooms, anytime somebody needs a license for teaching or for real estate, they have to be fingerprinted to have a background done with the state of Texas. And this is where we fingerprint them. Anytime a juvenile is arrested for a criminal offense, they'll come in here and we'll fingerprint them as well in here. And this is where
它这个系统呢，就是那个有一些这个需要这个职业资格的证书的也要。
To meet a great investigator. This is Terrence Greenwood. He is currently assigned to cold case homicides. He is investigating murders that date back 20 and 30 years. He's very good at what he does. Mr. Greenwood, our visitors from China.
How are you guys?
好，这个不要拍照。
What this is APHIS. I'm sure you've heard the term APHIS on TV or the like. It's a computerized fingerprint system. TV shows you where you put a fingerprint in, it searches for you and brings up a picture. Not the way it works. Go
它
ahead.
它这里是那个指纹以后经过。
Really enter the fingerprints, identify the points that are relevant to each fingerprint, and compare it with 10 possibilities that the computer matches for us. So we have to do all the hard work.
它就比对一个系统。
That's what
它就
this
比对
system is
第
here.
三是
So
比对。
we have this at our disposal to use to help catch the bad guys.
他希望通过比对能够发现 bad guy，就是坏人。
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
run it and the first 10 that come up aren't a match, can it rerun excluding the first 10 that came up?
What it'll do, if you say it's not a hit, that hits the term on whether it's a match or not. If you say it's not a hit, it'll keep it in its system. And once it's in the system, if it ever comes up with another possibility, it'll alert you that it has another possibility for you. So it,
The fingerprint print.
to the
Yeah,
computer system,
yes.
once we think we've made a possible identification just comparing the fingerprints on an item that we've taken a fingerprint off of or somebody's taken from a scene, once we think it's pretty close or we don't know who it is but it's a good fingerprint, we'll enter it in the system. Usually takes 15 minutes, maybe 2 days at the most, depending on how the system's running, to give us some possibilities back, and then we have to look at it and say whether we agree or disagree. So it's left up to us. The computer just kind of gives us ideas.
we cannot lift with tape to put it on a card. We'll take a photograph of it. And this is what we use to be able to compare the fingerprints to a known ink print. So this is something that we'll go to court if we've got it identified to somebody. This is what we'll show them in court. It's just as good as if we had lifted something off of the object
对
itself.
对，它这个就是对这个物证进行拍摄的一个照片，然后它这个可以作为法庭证据使用。那它的这个指纹拍下来以后，如果指纹拍下来有
You can put an item in there and super glue Fumit, which affixes a fingerprint to an item so that we can dust it and lift it better. We also have the large super glue tank, that silver one there.
它这个可以对这个残缺只能进修修。
And under the hood is for chemical sprays. The ninhydrin is used on papers, and the ninhydrin itself is a chemical that adheres to amino acids left behind from the fingerprint on
对，
paper.
它这边用化学那个。
New patrol deputies had a fingerprint in here. We're constantly working on new items back in here, so we do a lot of work back this way. Any question? It's great to use because if you fix a fingerprint and dust it and
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting 7. Starting to.
it's not real, it's for teaching purposes.
Processing bays for vehicles that are from crime scenes. This allows us to have a temperature-controlled, humidity-controlled area where we can dust it for fingerprints or take blood samples, whatever kind of evidence that we have on that vehicle. This is where one of the places that we do that. And in this little room right behind us, if you guys want to look through there, is a drying cabinet where if we have bloody items or items that are soaked with human blood, urine, other kind of chemicals, that's where we'll dry it, because if you package it when it's wet, it will mold over time. So we make sure the items are completely dry before they're packaged. Try to get everybody in if you want to come all the way in.
I'm Linda. I work in the property. What we do, we handle all the evidence. We want to maintain chain of custody at all times. We handle anything from bombs to currency that come in. We get in a lot of dangerous evidence, a lot of bloody evidence. You have to make sure if it's DNA that it has to be packaged individually so you don't contaminate anything else. When the officers, they come in, we have lockers that they bring their evidence. If it's after hours, they put their evidence inside the lockers. When I come in the morning, I take it out, I review everything. If it's drugs, we have to make sure they're weighed. They're then prepared and sent to DPS for testing. If it's DNA evidence, we check with the detectives to see if it needs to be sent to DPS, and if it does, then we send that also. We get a lot of sexual assaults, homicide cases, burglary cases, robberies. You never know what you're going to get when you open up that evidence locker. Matter of fact, a few times I've had blood baths when I've opened up the evidence if it's not packaged properly.
对，它
This is all
这
we
里
have.
保存了很多那个
We
刑
have
事
gotten
犯罪
in
的
loaded guns. I have gotten in some live bombs. That's just a few of the items we get
有
in.
炸弹了。
They have tried to send me cat heads, and I don't want those. Is there anything y'all would like to ask?
Whoa!
Oh, it's evidence too.
Now they use this out.
That's not for baseball.
不是打棒球的。
So I thought y'all might like to see it. When I come in the morning, these.
Yes, burning. When we have destruction orders, this is where we destroy the evidence.
它有时候会受的骨头的，有的是人骨的，在这个就更不会的。 对对对对，枪弹。
Shooting tank. Anytime a firearm comes into our possession, regardless of the type of firearm, it has to be test fired in here, so we have the projectile and the casing so we can enter it in the IBIS system, which identifies bullets and guns. So therefore we have a record of it. This is a shooting tank full of water. The water's kept like a pool at a certain pH, and that way we can retrieve everything out of there untouched. This is where you shoot from. We usually shoot about 3 bullets into it. This is a secure facility again. You know, everything back here is, but this one's doubly locked because of the weapons that are usually sitting out. So,
对，它这里
should I open the
一
tank?
般打3。
You guys want to come up and walk down? For bullets, we put bullets under there. They can be compared so you can match a bullet with another bullet or casing, so you can compare, say whether or not it came, so you can say if it came out of the same gun or not. And then this, you can put it under there, and two people can look at it at the same time, so you can show them what you're looking at. But that's another fully automated system that's just like the fingerprint system, but it's for guns.
它跟指纹比例是差不多的啊。
看到分是指纹比对。
Tell how big this area is and how big our sheriff's office is growing. I'm not real familiar with where you come from or how big the police departments are, but as far as sheriff's offices go, this is very large for Texas.
它这个风景的一些。
The employees are busy working. They're either talking to the patrol cars on the street or they're taking phone calls from people calling in wanting assistance from police. So you have to watch the volume of your talk, your speech just a little bit, because they are doing real work here.
Police Academy, we're just a police college. So in United States, probably you should get half a year in Police Academy, then we'll get a license in China. Just so you
Where in the training do the policemen learn tactics like how to handcuff, how to shoot, how to search for evidence? Is that something that's learned all the time as you're in school?
Yeah, probably in every province state we have one police academy, one police college. You know, police office can
Do mostly one. That's safer.
803 Brodigan Road near Eileen, came at 247 X-ray. 1518.
And there is nothing that she doesn't know about the workings of this. She's going to start you off and answer any of your questions and explain what they do.
First of all, this communication center is for the county, and we're housed for law enforcement and EMS and fire.
Speak slow, very clear.
I can't speak slow, I'm sorry. Dispatchers don't do that. The housing of this communication center is also for EMS. And Omar, I thought he would show a little bit of what his area does also. So if you want to, Omar.
Try to avoid
Medic 2,
acronyms and
Priority 1,
they understand.
6 Charlie 1, 29,810 Lazy Lane near Spring Hill, came at 252 Yankee. Medic 2, Priority 1, 6 Charlie 1, 29,810 Lazy Lane.
Dispatch for the
near
ambulance
Spring Hills,
and
came
the
at
fire
252
trucks.
Yankee.
And we actually, are y'all from Hong Kong?
No.
Mainland, okay, because we actually had Hong Kong Fire came here about a year and a half ago to visit and to see what we do. So it was pretty neat visiting with them. But we take the calls when people call the 911. I think there it says 999 or it's a 3-digit number for emergencies. And we process the call. We give pre-arrival we give instructions to help with CPR. We give instructions to deliver babies. We give instructions for bleeding control or animal bites, or if somebody fell down and is hurt. We give instructions for all that before the ambulance gets there. There are a lot of calls that the police respond to that we respond to as well, and such as assaults, people that get beat up, or attacks, shootings or stabbings, things like that. So we work very closely together. And a lot of times when we're on the telephone talking to the person that's hurt or somebody that's reporting an emergency, they're on the phone line with us, and at the same time we're gathering information about the scene or the accident or the incident. So if you want to come in here. These are all of our dispatch positions, and all of them are set up the same. We use a lot of different programs to take the information and send the
Medic 82, post
appropriate
83,
units.
medic 82,
We send the
post
closest
83.
unit, resources or ambulances or fire trucks to the scene. And a lot of the information here, we have GPS locators on the ambulances, so we can see them drive around, and we always know who we're sending, when we're sending them. We use, this is called a computer-aided dispatch system. It's similar to what they would use in your dispatch center. And all the information that we take from the caller, the reportee, we put into the computer and store it all for record keeping. So this is the radio system. He talks on the radios, obviously, to the EMS crews and the fire crews. Gives them the information, tells them where they're going, what to expect before they get there. So.
那这个人类就类似一个犯罪热点图，就是从热就相对来讲激情的，就他们接到那个这个紧急救助电话最多的一些地区，实际上很多紧急救助都是跟犯罪有关。
The information where they're calling from shows up here the address, the name of the people, what city it's in, their telephone number, and then who the jurisdiction, the police jurisdiction or the fire jurisdiction or the ambulance jurisdiction. The address is mapped on a map. Can you zoom out on that? It'll put a dot where the call is.
So the address is just the
Physical address of the where they're calling from.
Okay.
And then if they're calling from a GPS, see if you can scroll through and see. We get the GPS coordinates, and it'll put a dot on the map. And that's accurate by about 30 feet. So within 30 feet of where they're at. We have nine helicopters.
You take the fourth entrance.
And we dispatch 4.
It's going to be the seventh
There's none
mobile
flying
home.
right now. But,
beige car on the driveway.
They
Your
cover a
seventh
very
mobile
large
home, beige
area
car
of
on the
Texas.
driveway. Take your fourth
And
entrance.
we get calls from other ambulance services who have an urgent patient and they're very far away from hospitals. And so they call us and we go out and land and pick them up. Yeah.
How can you communicate with each other?
And we put, we use phone lines, like dedicated telephone lines. And we run them between cities. And connect a radio to it on the other end, put it on a tower, and when the helicopter's in the air, we can talk to them. And they don't know the names of the street. And we use the map, and we look on the map, see where they're at, and we tell them to stay there.
They call 911, y'all have 011 for emergencies?
281-367, sorry, 7710.
I know the address, and we can get the GPS coordinates if they're in a cell phone. We have a map that shows the phone of where that building is. Or if it's a cell phone, it shows the cell phone, and it will tell you the coordinates of that number. The county's split up into 6 districts, and I made these, when we get the calls, and they ship them to the radios, it's split up, and I'll walk around this, but on this side you'll have to be. Then we have a TTY, cannot tell what's happening on the other side of that phone. We don't know if somebody's got a gun to their head, or in South County, you know where the Woodlands Mall is? 1A1, but in all the other outer areas. Cheyenne did. She just came, she went to Beijing last month. Last month.
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
Like your hat there. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me introduce some people to you real quick. This is Inspector Fluellen. He holds, it's an inspector's rank, but it's the same rank as a captain in our sheriff's office. He is in charge of the training academy. You met Lieutenant Smith. Now, not only do you welcome Lieutenant Smith, but he's also a brand new lieutenant that just was promoted over the academy within the last 2 weeks. So he doesn't know anything.
All of our students sit when we teach class. We have room for 42 people here. We have another small classroom down the hall that I'll take you to. Come in and look. different uniforms that we wear, the different rifles that we carry, the submachine gun, these are 223s. This is a 37mm launcher. This is my sniper rifle that I use. We also have a 50 caliber Barrett. That one weighs 34 pounds.
Pilih bom. Pilih, pilih. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
A lot of police agencies very nearby do not have nearly as much as we do. And I try to tell some of our young police officers all the time how fortunate they are with what we have. We've been kind of rushed this afternoon. You've had a chance to ask some questions here and there, but if you have any questions that we can answer for you now before you get ready to head back to Sam Houston State, I've asked Corporal Goldsby, our
Just for 5 seconds.
now, in that mode, without bombs out, we use 21 feet. 21 feet is the max.
When you fire a taser at a target,
它这个亮点就是因为你身上已经系列到了，然后它现在是按照扳机。
Okay, I got to be somewhere at 6.
Okay.